Hi there, and welcome to the Rodeo Royal edition of Inside Stampede Park.
March has been a really busy month, but it isn't over yet. With the week upcoming, it's chock full of special events.
You know, the Stampedes lead into the Calgary Stampede, the big events in the infield.
Yeah.
And this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 23rd to the 26th, down at the Stampede Corral is Rodeo Royal.
Yes, and we're going to be talking with some people tonight about that. We have some guests. I'm going to be speaking with Kathy Robinson, who is on the Queen's Alumni Committee, and she'll be telling me about the special rodeo going on within Rodeo Royal.
Yeah, that's really something. I was there
Yeah,
last
she was
year.
telling me a little bit about it earlier, and it sounds like it's going to be quite the thing to see. So.
Oh, I think you'll have an interesting talk with her.
Yeah.
And I'll be talking to Bob Thompson, who is the chairman of the Rodeo Royal Committee, and he's just going to tell us how Rodeo Royal got started, what it does, what it means to the cowboys, and what it means to the volunteers. And at the end of the show, we have a selection of new merchandise that the Stampede has brought in.
The merchandise we showed last time is pretty good, but this time we have some jackets and some pins, I think, and stuff like that. So
that's some really good stuff. When I brought them in, everybody out in the green room said, "Oh, wow, is that ever good?"
Do I get some? Do I get
Yeah, so I was going to try and sell them. But
yeah, really.
No, we need them for. Coming up, Cindy talking to Kathy.
I'm talking with Kathy Robinson, who is on the Queen's Alumni Committee. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining us. Now, you must be an extremely busy woman with Rodeo Royal coming up and all of the events that are going on. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the functions of the Queen's Alumni Committee?
Yes, and help out a variety of charities. For instance, this week we're putting on a special rodeo, and it's a rodeo for special needs children. We put it on during Rodeo Royal. It's on the Saturday morning, pardon me, and we have a variety of rodeo type events that the cowboys and rodeo personnel help out with.
Great. Now, with the special rodeo, can you tell me a little more about it, like what it involves? Or?
Sure. The special rodeo is the Saturday morning. We have volunteers such as the cowboys who are participating at Rodeo Royal and some of the rodeo clowns and the acts, and some of the Stampede volunteers that are there. And they pair up with the children and go around and participate in some rodeo type events.
Great. What type of events would you have?
Well, we have mini chuck wagon races where the children ride around in chuck wagons, and we have livestock there for them to pet, and flag picking where they get to ride horses and sheep to pet, and that sort of thing. They get some gifts and they really enjoy it.
So on average, in past years, how many children would...
So we need a lot of volunteers, but they pair up with each child. In fact, the Stampede Queen contestants will be there as well, helping out.
Great. Yeah. Now, 1996 is the 50th anniversary of the Stampede Queens and Princesses.
That's right.
This will be a big event, needless to say. What do you have planned for that?
Well, we have a lot of the girls have moved out of Calgary, so hopefully they'll be coming back to see us. And we have our first Stampede Queen, Patty Henderson, will be there. And we'll all be riding in the parade Stampede Week. And we'll have some special activities going on.
Really? Going on outside of Stampede? Or?
Yes, I think so. Right now we're just in the planning stage, but everyone's really excited about it. And when you think that we have the first Stampede Queen is still involved as an active member of our committee, it'll be a big group.
That's great. It must be wonderful for her, too. I mean, being involved for so many years and seeing all of the new faces come in. And
I think so. Exciting. She's really a nice woman, and she's been a lot of help to all of us.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Now, I understand that you were a Stampede Queen. When was that?
That's right, 1981.
Wow. And what sort of things did you do as the Queen?
Well, we act as goodwill ambassadors for the City of Calgary and for the Stampede. And so we did a lot of traveling. We went to England and Scotland on a promotional tour. Yeah. We went to Vancouver for the P&E. We went to Montreal for Grey Cup, to a lot of the small towns around Calgary. And we went to over 300 functions during our year. And we helped out at Rodeo Royal, and during Stampede Week, we're busy all day long there. We go to the rodeo in the afternoon, the grandstand show in the evening. We visit schools and homes and that sort of thing.
Wow. So since the time you've been a Stampede Queen to now, how has it changed in your eyes? I mean, you see all these new girls coming in. What, with the decades changing, how has it changed for the Queen and her function?
The function has stayed the same. The faces are different, and the clothes have changed, and we look at each year as a new group of girls who can become involved with our committee. They're pretty busy, and they have pardon me, a really good time.
Really? Now, as a Stampede volunteer, apart from the Alumni Committee, what do you like best about it? I mean, what keeps you coming back?
Well, I had a terrific year as Stampede Queen. We met a lot of people and experienced a lot of things that you never experience unless you were in that situation. So I'm very grateful for that. But more than that, the ongoing communication and work we do with the other volunteers from the Stampede and with our committee, it's a great, great group of people, and they come from all walks of life, and they're a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding.
Yeah. Was that when you first became involved with the Stampede, and then you just kept coming back
Yeah.
in 81?
That's
Yeah.
right. After our year's over, we're invited to join the committee,
Yeah.
and I chose to.
That's excellent. Because I'm new to Calgary relatively, and since I've come here, just learning more and more about the Stampede and all of the different committees, it's pretty exciting. Everyone seems to have that same zest, you know. They want to do more and more.
Yeah. It's a very friendly city, and you'll love it, this Stampede.
I do, and I'm looking forward to this summer. It'll be
Yeah.
pretty interesting. But getting back to the special rodeo and the children, how many, you send invitations out to organizations? How many invitations are to how
To
many?
organizations that we are aware of now, and to schools that we know that have classes for special need children, and let the teachers and parents assess whether their child will find the event rewarding. And if they do, then they reply to us and register for the rodeo. But anyone who's special needs is welcome to attend, and they can contact us at the Stampede if we've missed them, because it's only accidental if we have.
Okay. Now, do you have a number offhand that you can give to people? Or?
You can contact the Stampede main switchboard, and they will connect you to the appropriate person.
Okay. Now, I'm sure the parents of these children are pretty excited about an event like this. Do they get in touch with you saying thank you, or sending letters, or my child really enjoyed this? Do you get any of that type of thing?
Yes, the response is very, and we love having them back. And we get a lot of letters from parents thanking us. But in fact, more than that, we get letters from the volunteers thanking us for allowing them to participate in the rodeo, which is really, really nice, because a lot of these cowboys come up from the States who are going to compete at Rodeo Royal, and some of them come up a day early. If their event's not till Sunday, they'll still come up Saturday so that they can help out. And then I was amazed when we started receiving thank you letters from them, but they found it a really good event.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
At noon, or because these children would probably be pretty excited and pretty tired, so.
That's right. It's really action-packed, so it goes from 10 o'clock until about 11:30, and then they have some lunch, and then that's it.
Yeah. Are there prizes or anything? When you mentioned the little chuck wagon races, are there prizes that you give to them as little mementos? Or?
Well, they don't have prizes as such, but we have gifts for them all, and they get hats and some bandanas and flags and lots of buttons and lots of memories.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I have never experienced this, so it makes me wonder if I could volunteer. Are you ever looking for new volunteers, or do you have a list that you just keep calling back, or?
We are looking for volunteers for people who are involved in that kind of area, and you can contact us if you are interested.
Okay.
But through the Stampede, we've got a lot of volunteers. We've got a large pool to choose from.
Yeah. Now, if someone wanted to volunteer for the special rodeo, do you have to have any particular background, or would they be trained at all? Or?
Well, generally what we do is use volunteers that are Stampede volunteers on a committee with the Stampede. So it would be a matter of contacting one of them.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I hope the event goes well, and I appreciate you coming in.
Great. Thanks, Cindy.
Next up, Dan's going to be speaking with Bob Thompson about Rodeo Royal.
Well, thanks, Cindy. Well, as mentioned, I have with me Bob Thompson, who is the chairman of the Rodeo Royal Committee of the Calgary Exhibition and Stampede. I must say that it is Rodeo Royal, it's not Rodeo Royale. So, Bob, what is Rodeo Royal?
What is Rodeo Royal? Well, it's certainly keeping us busy these days, but Rodeo Royal's it's a professional rodeo that we hold every spring down at the Calgary Stampede grounds in the corral. We like to think it's the first rite of spring. The tulips aren't out of the ground out south yet, but it's kind of a kickoff to the rodeo season here in Canada, the spring and summer rodeos. It's a full rodeo. We've got all the major events. We've got the bull riding and saddle bronc and bareback riding and calf roping and steer wrestling and the works. So it's a major rodeo that we hold. We get all the top names and top cowboys and the best stock in the business coming out for it. So it's been in business close to 25 years. Come next year will be our quarter-century anniversary.
25 years?
That's right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we're quite proud of that.
Yeah. I was talking to Brian Ratcliffe down at Public Affairs about this, I guess it was a couple of months ago, about this Rodeo Royal and Rodeo Royale, and he said that just the first year they called it Rodeo Royale.
Yes.
So I guess it's, when things start, they're initiated, it kind of keeps going forever and ever.
That's right,
A lot of people still call it Rodeo.
They still call it Rodeo Royale, and I'm not sure. I think it seems to come off the tongue easy for some people, but make no mistake about it, it's Rodeo Royal.
Okay, you mentioned that you get all the top cowboys up here in all the 5 events and everything. How many cowboys would you expect?
Those entries in a day, and we're sitting at over 300 entries. Now, of course, some cowboys will compete in a different, in a couple events. So I would say, and some will turn out if there's an injury, they won't show up. But I think at the end of the day, you'll end up with well over a couple hundred cowboys up here for it.
And they're the top cowboys, obviously. There's a special attraction for them to come to Rodeo Royal too, isn't there?
Well, there is. I mean, it's not only top cowboys. You've got, a whole set of athletes there. Certainly, one of the special features of Rodeo Royal is the fact that the winners of the events will get automatic buys through to the $50,000 showdown round in the summer Stampede rodeo. So that's a pretty big incentive to show up. You think about it, you could be a cowboy that's, maybe you haven't had a good set of rodeos down in the winter rodeos in the U.S. Perhaps you're not going to have that good of a spring, but if you just happen to have a good roll of luck and skill going your way on Rodeo Royal, you could end up right down into that showdown round at the summer show.
So the cowboy just shows up on the final Sunday and he's got a ride on...
No, he doesn't get away that easy.
Oh, okay.
No way. Part of the rule is they have to compete. Even though they got the bye, they do have to compete throughout the summer show or throughout the rodeo. So they're not allowed just to sit back, but they do get into that final round. And of course, they'd like to compete in the rodeo anyways in the summer because they've got opportunity to win some money there. So.
Mm-hmm. And you also have the crowning of the new Royal Trio, which happens
yes,
during
that's
Rodeo
always part of Rodeo Royal. Is they're down now to, I believe it's 6 contestants. So. This is their final test. That's their last test to separate them out to select the trio.
They ride around and have a little speech to the people that are in the corral.
Right.
And everything.
That's right.
I was down there last year. I found it very interesting when they did. One thing I noticed about watching the rodeo down there is the immediacy. I mean, there's the infield. You're that far away from the infield, whereas
That's
at the
right.
Stampede, you're up in the grandstand and you're looking down on it. And I couldn't believe the difference it makes in watching rodeo.
Well, it really does. We like to say every seat is an infield seat at Rodeo Royal. People in the summer show, of course, fight to get into those infield seats. And at Rodeo Royal, I still get comments from people who call and talk to me, and they say, they used to love the Flames games back in those days when they were in the corral because they were so close to the action. And I always get a kick out of seeing when some of the stock comes running up the rails, they'll be sending, some dirt will be coming over. You'll see ladies brushing themselves off or something like this because they're that close to the action. And I know you can smell the animal when it's going by. So that's it's a particular feature. You can be right up at the top and still feel like you got a real good seat there.
Yeah, I was really surprised. Of course, I go to the Stampede all the time. And I really haven't paid that much attention to Rodeo Royal until last year.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is really great, and people are really missing out on a great deal here.
Yeah. Well, it's the ticket sales are real strong, and there's a lot of people showing interest, and we do seem to come pretty close to sell out on a lot of nights, and so people do seem to enjoy to get down and see a rodeo because really we run a format that's not entirely unlike what you're seeing in the summer show. We've got, in fact, the same people are generally organizing that rodeo that are organizing Rodeo Royal, so you do tend to be able to mix the expertise and put on a show that's as classy as what you're seeing in the summer, but it's in the corral and it's a lot of fun. People seem to have a great time at it, and it seems to be our regulars. We have a very solid repeat customer base, so to speak, there. There's a lot of people coming year after year to the thing.
Is there anything specific that sets Rodeo Royal apart from other rodeos?
Well, I think other than the fact, we've talked about the bye into the finals, which certainly sets it apart, and I think, I really find it's unique that, Calgary's become a big metropolitan center. Here you've got a rodeo in downtown, in a good facility running that. I always like the idea of a lawyer or an accountant or a business executive being able to be finishing an agreement or a deal at 6 o'clock, and by 7:30 they're in jeans and boots and they've got their hat on and they're watching a great rodeo. So I think kind of the location and that does set it apart. And of course, we like to think that the use of the Stampede bucking stock certainly sets it apart, and the quality of the show is very good. So we're quite proud of what we put together there.
Well, just about anything that Winston Bruce is involved in has got to be good.
Yes, well, Winston certainly knows his business, that's for sure.
him and his Appaloosa.
Yes, that's right.
Now, do you have anything for the kids during rodeo?
We do. You know, aside from, of course, we think the event itself is great for kids to come down to, and we encourage parents to bring their kids on down, particularly on the Sunday, which is the finals. It's in 2 in the afternoon, so it's a good time to bring the kids down and watch. And then one thing we do that's kind of unique is what's called the kids performance, and we run that at Slack in the morning, which is where we run a lot of the cowboys through, because we can't fit them all in the evenings. So we send out invitations to all these elementary schools, and we'll generally get anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 or 5,000 kids down there. And I'll tell you, it's a noisy scene. It's just great to hear. I mean, I wish every fan was as enthusiastic as those kids are, because they come down and they scream so loud you can hardly hear yourself think. But and we have the Easter Seal kid comes down, and we like to have some celebrities down and things like that. So we like to put that on for the kids.
Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I knew about the special rodeo that the Queen's Alumni puts on, but I wasn't aware of the involvement of the grade school
That's
kids.
right. If you go down on the Friday morning at 9 o'clock, that corral is 3/4 full of screaming children watching a full rodeo performance. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Bring your earplugs?
That's right. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. How long have you been involved with Rodeo Royal?
Well, the rodeo committee I've been involved with for, I guess, coming up to about 10 years now. So it's been a great 10 years, and we're busy at it. And most of the members are pretty well seasoned in this business of putting on rodeos. So between ourselves and working with the Stampede staff and various other people that help us out, we managed to pull it off.
Okay, I guess we should tell people when Rodeo Royal is.
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, on an annual basis, it's always in March.
Yeah.
It's always about in the middle of March. It's always starting on a Thursday and running through to a Sunday, and so for this year, it's the 23rd through to the Sunday, and the performances are always at 7:30 in the evening, except for the final set. It runs at 2 o'clock. So. And if there's happens to be Flames game on, we certainly encourage people to come a little bit earlier, because there's a lot of fighting for parking down there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of best to slip in a little early.
Yeah. Now, do you have a telephone number people can reach, or how do they get tickets for?
Well, they sell tickets through. You can phone the Stampede box office, Saddledome the Grandstand ticket office, and as well as Ticketmaster, and some of those outlets carry the ticket sales.
And you mentioned the ticket sales were they taken off this year as a.
Well, they look very encouraging. You know, the numbers seem very strong. We've had increased interest out of sponsors have stepped forth wanting to participate. So we really feel like we're beginning to hit some momentum that really might move us forward.
You know, speaking of sponsors, we've covered this over on a few of our previous shows. The importance of sponsors to the Stampede and keeping costs down.
Yeah.
Is it true with Rodeo Royal the same way?
Well, it is. I mean, we view sponsorship as kind of as a partnership, in the sense that we view it that we have something to offer, and it is a good targeted audience that sponsors can connect with. And then on our half, it does contribute financially to running the show and putting on a classy show. So we find it's a partnership that works very strongly. And we do seem to be, this year has been very strong with sponsors stepping forth.
Well, that's really good. I'm glad to hear that. We need really, the community and the corporate involvement with the Stampede. Right. Now, you've been around for a while. What's the future like for Rodeo Royal?
I think the future looks very good with Rodeo Royal. I think what we're going to see is there's some desire, and we're in kind of a planning process right now, but there's some desire to expand activities somewhat with it. Perhaps we might contemplate the idea of clustering some of either events around Rodeo Royal. We're thinking quite strongly that it would make sense to combine a music or entertainment concert of some type associated right with it. So I think in the future you may see some expanded activities there after we evaluate the potential of them working well, and perhaps we can have a larger Western themed show at the end of the day.
Okay, so this would actually, later on down the road, would tie into the idea of having a Western theme park down at Stampede Park, wouldn't
Yes, it could. I mean, that's the synergies you can achieve through the activities going on at the Stampede, is to be able to you know, create some interesting things for the public to do.
Yeah, people don't realize that there are an average of 4 events every day happening
Well,
down
that's
at
right,
Stampede
you know,
Park.
and a lot of them are agricultural based that would fit nicely with Rodeo Royal. So it would make sense for someone to be able to come down and enjoy Rodeo Royal and maybe go see some country music
Yeah.
and whatever, you know.
We look forward to it. So we go down to Rodeo Royal starting Thursday, March the 23rd, until Sunday, March the 26th. And the finals are on the Sunday at what, 2 o'clock?
At 2 o'clock. The Cowboys will be there, and the stock will be there, and we'll all be there.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a great show.
I'll be there. And boy, if you aren't there, you're missing out on a really good show. As we talked a little bit earlier, and I'm sitting here, the infield is right there, and you get the smell, the sound, the noise, the excitement. It's fantastic, and I'd recommend it to anybody. Anyway, Bob, thank you very much for coming down and talking to us, and you know, continued success with. Well, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's a new line of merchandise that's down at the Stampede gift store, and I'm sure Cindy, being a newcomer to Calgary, would be interested in some of this.
If this shirt was a little bigger, I think I could wear that.
Well, it's a good way of mixing in the Badlands and the Stampede, and Triceratops being ridden by a Tyrannosaurus Rex, with chaps on, no less.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We have a lot of stuff, actually. We have a great jean shirt here with the little Stampede logo, and on the back is, and this is beautiful, is
yeah, that's this year's
the
poster.
Stampede poster for
That's really
1995. Yeah, it's great.
And the shirt is denim, I believe.
Yes, very versatile denim is.
Yeah.
So we have lots of cool stuff. We have a pullover here.
Oh, this is nice and soft.
Yes, it's very soft, very cuddly.
Yeah.
Got the nice blue collar, and it's a good size too. See, I could wear that. It's big enough in the shoulders.
Oh, yeah?
That other one was a little small.
Oh, okay.
And this is great. It has the Stampede logo inside. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, kind of, yeah.
Isn't that cool? That is a great idea.
Yeah. I think it also has the name of the Calgary Stampede on one of the sleeves.
Yes, it does. Actually, on the sleeve here, it has a Calgary Stampede. And it looks, I don't know if it's waterproof or anything, or water resistant, but it feels like it would be pretty good in the rain too.
Well,
so.
definitely windproof, that's for sure.
Yes, very, very, you could do spring skiing.
Spring, yeah,
Yes,
right.
this is what I see. I have a vision. It's great. We have a T-shirt, your standard T-shirt here with the Stampede poster.
Oh, yeah, that's the poster again.
Yeah, it's great.
And last but not least,
A pen knife.
pen knife
Yeah.
from Cross. A nice Cross pen with a little Stampede
Is it like
Swiss
a Swiss
knife.
Army knife concept?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't get it out, Dan.
They
Help
can't
me.
get it out.
Work with me.
It's stuck. They glued it in.
It's stuck.
I
Well,
have
it'll
to-
be nice to look at, that's for sure.
Boy, when you get it out, you'll really appreciate it.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah, but it looks really good. It's in the Stampede red, and it's made by Cross, so it's quality product.
Okay, now here's something I didn't know. This is Stampede Slim, you said?
Yes.
So where does that come from? Is this a particular person, or is it just somebody's great
No,
idea?
it's the cowboy with the rope around his head has always been known as Stampede Slim.
Oh.
I have no idea where that came from.
That's
but
wild.
The Stampede, I think in 1978, made it their trademark.
Really?
So on all the Stampede, as we saw on this item here,
Yes.
the logo
It's
that's
everywhere.
embossed inside here
Slim's a popular guy.
is Stampede Slim.
That's great. See, I had
there.
no idea.
Oh,
I had
okay.
absolutely no idea. Now I can say I have learned something new.
Well, there you go.
That's great. Okay, well, I guess that pretty well wraps it up. We can try all of this stuff on and
Oh, yeah, for
pick
sure.
what we want.
Yeah. Now, if you're looking for the Stampede gift shop, it's down in Roundup Center, between Roundup Center and the Corral, actually on the concourse, just under on the main floor, just under the overpass to get to the LRT station. And this is just a small sample of what they have down there. And
Yeah, there's
go
tons
in
of
and
stuff.
get your Stampede souvenirs down there at Stampede Slims. That's what it's called too, Stampede Slims.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, because you want to be ready for Stampede. I
Yeah.
mean,
And leave us not forget Rodeo Royal.
no.
Okay, this show is going on the air first on Thursday, so that's the first day of Rodeo Royal, but you still have 3 more days to pick it up. And as I mentioned earlier, and you would really like this, you get down there and you can smell the infield.
Really?
You can hear the horses, and you can hear them grunting when they're bucking. And
Oh, that
all
would be
and
incredible.
it's something that you know, most people don't get, especially when you're in the grandstand at the Stampede, because you're so far away from the
Yeah.
action.
That's
But in
wild.
the corral, you're right on top of it.
Well, I'll have to get down there then, because
Well,
I love horses.
I'll be there on Sunday.
Really?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
well, maybe I'll see you Sunday.
Oh, hopefully. Okay. Well, that's about it for this show. We'll be back in 4 weeks, and I think we'll probably have Chef Kurt on again.
Yes, I'm going to be speaking with Chef Kurt this time, I understand. So
Information,
yes,
how to
some
do it the
BBQ.
Stampede way.
Exactly.
Yeah, and a few other things about what happens inside Stampede Park. I'm Dan Bragg.
I'm Cindy O'Neill. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We want to know if you just watched or you felt we needed improvement. Give us a call at 250-7772 and leave your comments. And thanks for watching Shaw Cable TV, your community channel.